Static hissed across the comms, cutting through the silence of space. Captain Daniel Mercer gasped, "Suit breach, pressure falling," before his voice cracked into static. The blackness swallowed his scream as his tether snapped, body spinning into the void. Inside the craft, Commander Evelyn Hayes shouted, "Daniel, respond!" But only silence answered. The crew froze, their reflections trembling in helmet glass. A final whisper broke through the static. "They lied to us." Then the transmission cut, leaving only the heavy hum of failing systems. Evelyn's chest tightened as she stared into the darkness beyond the viewport, the place where her crewmate had vanished. The void pressed closer, merciless, indifferent. The mission had just torn itself open in a single breath, and nothing would ever be the same. Inside the cabin, silence spread like poison. Evelyn whispered, "He's gone," though her voice shook with disbelief. The crew stared at her, eyes hollow, breaths shallow, as if air itself had thinned. The ship hummed, cold and merciless. A faint crackle whispered through the comms, a fragment of Daniel's voice. "They lied," before static swallowed the rest. Evelyn's fists clenched, her chest burning. She whispered, "What did you mean?" But no answer came, only silence pressing harder. The loyal crewmate, Dr. Marcus Lee, said, "Commander, we can't dwell. Systems are failing." His voice cracked despite the calm mask he wore. Evelyn snapped back, "We lost him." Silence followed, each heartbeat magnified by the hum of the ship. Evelyn looked through the viewport, eyes searching the void where Daniel had vanished. No trace remained, only stars and silence. She whispered, "What secret did you take with you?" The void stared back, vast, merciless, offering no reply. Commander Evelyn Hayes sat alone in the dimmed cockpit, helmet off, hands trembling as she replayed Daniel's last words in her mind. The phrase echoed, "They lied to us." Her eyes stung, but no tears came, only a dry burn of grief. She opened a small compartment and pulled out a photo of her daughter, Emma, smiling under sunlight back on Earth. Evelyn whispered, "I promised you I'd come home." The hum of failing systems surrounded her like a cruel chorus, reminding her how fragile that promise was. Outside, the void stretched infinite and merciless, yet inside, the weight of one broken voice crushed her harder than gravity ever could. Her chest tightened as guilt took root, each breath sharp and uneven. Dr. Marcus Lee leaned forward, voice softer now, "Evelyn, we can't lose focus." His eyes betrayed exhaustion, shadows etched deep into his face. Evelyn whispered, "I watched him drift away," her voice cracking. Marcus placed a hand on her shoulder, forcing steadiness. "We survive by moving forward," he said, though his jaw clenched with hidden fear. His loyalty was real, but beneath it lived cracks of doubt. Evelyn met his gaze and nodded faintly, but inside she felt the abyss calling louder. The silence between them was heavy, filled with words neither dared to say. That trust was thinning, that survival might already be slipping through their fingers. Later, Evelyn opened a recorded message stored in the ship's databank. Emma's bright voice filled the cabin. "Hi, Mom, I miss you. Come back safe, okay?" Evelyn's lips trembled as she pressed the device to her forehead, whispering, "I'll try." Her chest ached with a wound deeper than space, leaving Emma behind, gambling with promises no mother should. The sound of her daughter's laughter echoed like sunlight breaking through steel walls. But as the recording ended, silence returned, heavier, crueler. She shut her eyes, hearing Daniel's dying whisper collide with Emma's hope. Between love and loss, Evelyn felt her soul cracking under the weight of both. Specialist Raj Patel broke the silence, voice sharp, "We all knew the risks." Evelyn turned sharply, eyes narrowed. Did we know the truth?" Her tone cut like glass. Raj's calm expression revealed nothing, his voice cool. Space doesn't forgive hesitation. The others exchanged wary glances. His presence felt steady, but a chill lingered in his tone, as if something darker pulsed beneath his words. Evelyn stared, unsettled by his control, while her grief screamed raw. For the first time, suspicion pierced the fragile web of trust holding the crew together. That night cycle, Evelyn drifted in her sleep capsule, unable to close her eyes. The void pressed against the thin hull, whispering silence into her bones. She thought of Daniel's scream, of Emma's laughter, of Raja's steady, cryptic calm. She whispered, "Why did you say they lied, Daniel?" The capsule felt like a coffin suspended in infinity, stars flickering beyond the viewport like distant ghosts. Her breath fogged the glass, and she traced a circle with her finger, whispering her daughter's name. Her eyes stayed open, afraid that if she slept, the void would claim her too. The spacecraft rattled violently as alarms screamed, red strobes flooding the cabin. Evelyn Hayes barked, "Report." Marcus Lee scanned the failing systems, voice cracking, oxygen recycling compromised, levels dropping fast. Sweat beaded on his brow as he added, "We have hours at most." Evelyn's pulse thundered as she clutched the armrest, staring at Raj Patel, who sat disturbingly calm, his gaze locked on the viewport as if the chaos around him were irrelevant. Evelyn snapped, "Patel, status!" His eyes shifted slowly, and he said flatly, "The void takes what it wants." The words chilled the air more than the failing oxygen, sending the crew into a silence more terrifying than alarms. Evelyn floated toward the maintenance bay, pulling herself along handrails, Marcus trailing close behind. He muttered, "If we can patch the scrubbers, maybe we buy time." Evelyn snapped, "Do it." Her mind spun with Daniel's last whisper, colliding with the sight of Raj's unnerving composure. Marcus pulled open a panel, sparks flickering as wires spat angry blue light. He cursed under his breath, hands trembling as he struggled with failing tools. Evelyn pressed a palm to the wall, whispering, "Stay alive." The hull groaned, as if the void itself listened, pressing closer. Later, Evelyn found herself staring at the sealed locker where Daniel's personal belongings remained. She touched the latch, whispering, "What did you mean?" Inside, she found a journal with notes about discrepancies in mission data. Her chest tightened as she read his scrawled words. Coordinates altered. Orders falsified. She gasped, slamming the book shut as Marcus appeared behind her. "Commander," he asked. Evelyn shoved the journal into her suit pocket, voice sharp, "Focus on repairs." She turned away, guilt crawling up her spine. Secrets were now hers to carry, and they threatened to tear the mission apart. Marcus drifted closer, whispering, "You're hiding something." Evelyn snapped, "Not now." His eyes narrowed, voice heavy with desperation. "I can't follow you blind." The words cut deeper than the alarms around them. Evelyn wanted to scream, but silence caught her throat. Trust, once solid, now fractured under the pressure. She clenched her fists, whispering, "We survive together or not at all." Marcus looked away, shame flickering across his face, but doubt remained. Raj watched from across the cabin, expression unreadable, lips pressed into a line that suggested he already knew far more than either of them. The crew gathered in the narrow galley, silence stretched thin. Evelyn said, "Daniel died for something we don't understand." Marcus stared at the table, muttering, "Then maybe we're next." Raj leaned forward, eyes dark, voice calm. "Secrets never stay buried. Space reveals all." His words sent shivers crawling down Evelyn's spine. She tried to hold her crew together, but she felt the walls closing in, the void pressing harder, the air thinner, the truth heavier. She whispered to herself, "Unheard. What are you hiding from me, Daniel?" The hum of the ship was the only reply, cold and unyielding. Evelyn Hayes sat in the command chair, Daniel's journal clutched in her hand, heart pounding as she read the words again. Coordinates falsified. Mission built on lies. She whispered, "Why didn't you tell us sooner?" The cabin hummed with oppressive silence until Raj Patel spoke, his tone calm but cutting, "Because truth is poison in space." Evelyn's eyes shot up, her chest tightening. "What do you know?" she demanded. Raj leaned back, gaze cold. "More than you're ready to hear." Marcus Lee shifted nervously, voice sharp, "You're hiding something?" The air grew heavier, every breath drenched in suspicion. Evelyn felt Daniel's last whisper echo through her veins, confirmation that their mission was never what they were told. Raj floated toward the viewport, his shadow long against the steel wall. "This mission was never about exploration," he said, voice steady. "It was containment." Evelyn's stomach lurched, rage and dread colliding. "Containment of what?" she demanded. Raj's eyes glinted under the cold stars as he replied, "The void is not empty. It remembers." Marcus cursed under his breath. "What the hell are you talking about?" The ship groaned as if echoing the words, its walls alive with secrets buried in their steel. Evelyn's grip tightened on the console. She whispered, "We're expendable." Raj turned his gaze on her, expression unreadable, and said, "You were never meant to return." Evelyn slammed her hand against the console, shouting, "You knew." Raj didn't flinch, his calm steady as stone. "I was sent to ensure the truth stayed buried," he admitted. Marcus's voice cracked, "You sabotaged us." Raj's lips curved faintly, not denial but acceptance. Evelyn's body shook, grief folding into fury. "Daniel died because of you," she spat. Raj leaned forward, tone chilling. "Daniel died because he discovered too much." Silence blanketed the cabin, broken only by the hiss of failing air. Marcus's breathing grew ragged, torn between rage and fear. Evelyn's hand hovered near the emergency panel, her chest burning with the realization that betrayal had been strapped into the ship from the start. Marcus lunged forward, grabbing Raj by the front of his suit, snarling, "You murderer." Evelyn shouted, "Stop!" But the two men collided against the cabin wall, their bodies straining in the weightless air. Raj didn't fight back. His eyes stayed fixed on Evelyn, calm and haunting. "The agency chose me because I don't fear the truth," he said evenly, even as Marcus's grip tightened. Evelyn's voice shook. "Then tell us." Raj exhaled slowly. "We were sent to study the anomaly because it kills memory. It erases identity. It buries secrets." Marcus's hands trembled as the words sank in. The mission was not about discovery, it was about silence. Evelyn floated closer, her voice low and broken. "So Daniel's death. It wasn't an accident." Raj's eyes glimmered in the red glow. "He was never supposed to tell you." Silence engulfed the crew, each heartbeat magnified by the void pressing on the hull. Marcus released his grip, trembling, whispering, "We're trapped in their lie." Evelyn's hands curled into fists, the betrayal burning hotter than fear. She whispered, "If the agency buried us out here, then we'll uncover every truth they tried to hide." Raji's gaze darkened, voice calm but final. "Some truths should never be found." The cabin dimmed as alarms pulsed again, the ship itself trembling like it knew what was coming. The ship lurched violently as systems failed, alarms howling through the cabin. Evelyn Hayes shouted, "Stabilize her." Marcus Lee's fingers flew across the console, but the screens glitched with static. "They've cut us off!" he yelled, panic in his voice. Raj Patel floated steady, hands clasped, his expression eerily calm. Evelyn lunged at him, fury flooding her chest. "You knew this would happen," she screamed. Raj whispered, "It's not failure, it's design." The words burned her ears. Sparks erupted from the control panel, filling the cabin with acrid smoke. Evelyn's vision blurred as rage and betrayal fused into a single storm. This was the breaking point. Marcus shouted over the alarms, "If we don't fix this, we're dead in minutes." Evelyn snarled, "Then work." Her voice cracked under pressure. Raj's voice cut through, calm and chilling. "The void asses, it doesn't forgive." Evelyn spun, shouting, "Shut up!" Marcus ripped open a panel, wires sparking, his face drenched in sweat. He whispered, "We need a power reroute." Evelyn's chest heaved, torn between saving the ship and tearing Raj apart. The alarms intensified, the oxygen levels plummeting, the void pressing harder. For the first time, Evelyn felt the crushing truth. They might not survive this choice. Marcus screamed, rerouting now, as sparks sprayed across his visor. Evelyn slammed her palm onto the console, forcing power into failing systems. The lights flickered weakly, engines groaning back to life. Raj said softly, "It's too late." Evelyn whirled on him, eyes blazing. "You killed him, and now you'll kill us all." Marcus gasped, "Commander!" As his hand slipped from the console, a flash of current jolting his body. He cried out in agony before slumping against the panel. Evelyn shouted his name, fury and fear ripping through her chest. The ship trembled as if the void itself laughed at their struggle. Evelyn grabbed Marcus by the suit, pulling him back, his body shaking, breath ragged. "Stay with me," she shouted. His lips quivered, whispering, "I tried." Evelyn's chest clenched as his eyes flickered, torn between life and surrender. Raj floated closer, voice sharp, "Let him go. The void takes what it wants." Evelyn screamed, "Shut your mouth." Her hand tightened on Marcus' chest, desperate to hold him tethered to life. Alarms blared louder, the ship spiraling into chaos, each second clawing at their survival. Evelyn's mind fractured under the weight, Daniel gone, Marcus slipping, Raj unmoved. Climax had devoured them. Marcus's breathing faltered, his voice barely a whisper. "Don't let the truth die with us." Evelyn's heart cracked as his body went still in her arms. She screamed, raw and broken, as Raj stood in silence, his shadows stretching across the trembling cabin. Evelyn pressed her forehead against Marcus's helmet, whispering, "I'll carry it." The alarms echoed like funeral bells. Raj finally spoke, voice cold. "Then the agency has already lost control." Evelyn lifted her head, rage burning hotter than grief. In that moment, she was no longer a commander. She was a survivor, ready to defy both agency and void. The cabin was silent, except for the fading echo of alarms. Evelyn Hayes cradled Marcus Lee's still body, her hands trembling. She whispered, "You saved us," though her voice broke. Raj Patel hovered in the shadows, his calm face illuminated by the faint glow of dying systems. He said, his sacrifice was inevitable. Evelyn's chest tightened as grief twisted into fury. "No, his sacrifice was murder by silence," she hissed. She laid Marcus gently against the wall, pressing her forehead to his helmet one last time. Then she rose, her eyes burning with resolve. The void may have claimed Daniel and Marcus, but she would not let their truth vanish. Evelyn drifted to the comms station, flicking on manual override, static flooding the cabin. "This is Commander Hayes transmitting truth," she whispered, voice shaking but firm. She held Daniel's journal open in one hand, words scrawled in frantic ink. "Mission falsified, coordinates altered, agency deception confirmed." Each syllable cracked against the static. Raj's voice cut in, sharp, "Stop. If you broadcast this, they'll erase you." Evelyn turned, eyes locked on him. "They already erased us," she spat. The transmission continued, her voice carried across the void, desperate to reach anyone willing to listen. Raj pushed himself forward, his voice steady but urgent. "Evelyn, you don't understand. That anomaly. If Earth knows, they'll weaponize it." Evelyn froze, torn between fury and confusion. "So you bury lives to protect the void," she shouted. Raj's jaw tightened, eyes cold. "I bury lives to protect humanity." Silence fell heavy as Evelyn's breath shook, her rage colliding with reluctant comprehension. Marcus's voice echoed in her memory. "Don't let the truth die with us," she whispered. "Humanity deserves to choose, even if it destroys us." Raj's eyes flickered with something close to fear. Evelyn moved to the viewport, staring into the anomaly swirling outside, an expanse of shifting black and shimmering light, alive yet silent. She whispered, "Is this what you fear, Raj, or what you serve?" Raj floated beside her, his voice low. "It erases memory. Entire lives vanish into its silence." Evelyn's chest tightened as the void pulsed like a living thing beyond the glass. She whispered, "Maybe that's why Daniel fought, to keep us from being erased before we ever chose." Her hand pressed against the viewport, her reflection fractured by stars. Raj's silence said more than his words ever could. The ship groaned as power dwindled. Evelyn floated back to the comms, whispering, "Emma, if you hear this, I love you. Forgive me." She hit transmit. Daniel's journal pages spread across the console like shattered truth. Raji's voice cracked for the first time. "You've doomed us all." Evelyn turned, eyes blazing. "No, I freed us." The transmission light blinked weakly, carrying her confession into the void. Cabin dimmed, shadows swallowing Marcus's body, Evelyn's trembling hands, and Raj's haunted gaze. The truth had been spoken, but survival remained uncertain.